You know, that you don't think an hour would really mess you up, but it does.
It does.
It
Yeah,
changes things.
I was awake 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. Yesterday, I was ready to eat
Yeah.
dinner at 10 o'clock.
Woke up,
I mean,
I woke up just before midnight.
It's for me.
so, yeah, it's an hour. It's
It messes me up like crazy.
your internal clock don't change as well as just switching it back on the clock. So, but anyway,
We got to lobby the state to change this crap.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't.
What you got, Ben?
It's not my favorite either as well. So, just a couple of FYIs for you. The first one, of course, I told you last week the truck sold. Both the old dump trucks, and they was picked up this week or last week, excuse me. So they're should be in Kentucky now. So
Oh, really?
yeah, they'd sent a tractor trailer up. We held assisted with loading them, and he was okay with it. So they left with it. I got the paperwork signed. I give Susan or Carla a copy to give to Susan, and then we should be getting a check within 3 weeks. They tell me so. So done on that. Next thing is just letting you give you a heads up, the traffic impact study I'm working on with NERC. We have some questions on some of the traffic flows and their criteria, how they come up with that. And I need to email that to you guys. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
I can't separate the file out, and our scanner, the email's been down. We can't fax or scan or nothing last week, but that's just now corrected, so I can get that to you.
Any highlights you could share with us today or this morning?
I can. I mean, it's calling for a lot of traffic signalization that I don't know really is relevant. Their traffic flow pattern was kind of interesting, how they analyzed that, you know, and some of the areas I don't think they got quite enough on, and others they do. It was sent to NDOT. It's going to be impactful around the I-69 interchange, 11A interchange, because they're basically calling for signalization on every intersection. So and I don't know whether how well that's going to work, because they're all so close together.
Yeah. That's odd.
And with the traffic flow counts, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but there was quite a significant amount of traffic that they're anticipating. So I'll get that sent to you, and then before I elaborate much on it, I want to make sure I got all my facts straight, and I'll make some notes and bring up, and before Jeff puts it all on the paper. So that way I got a little better understanding of it. So, but NERC's working on it with me, and it was sent to NDOT as well. I have not heard anything back from NDOT on it at this point, but it's primarily going to be at the interchange. It will be disruptive towards them. And then we'll have to have the discussion as far as if all this is needed on how and who is going to fund all of it. You know, and then the time frame that this stuff will have to take place. So, because they're talking about extended turn lanes and adding some, and like I say, the signalizations. I think probably some of it, a roundabout might even be better as far as traffic flow, and that's some of the stuff me and NERC was talking about and changing. Because like I said, when you get all them signals that close together, I don't know what that will do as far as backing traffic up.
Signaling at 427, just,
That's what they're
I think
proposed.
that's horrible.
Yeah, so in that from 69 to 427, there'd be 1, 2, 3, 5 signalizations.
5? Really?
Yeah, both ramps on 69, and they're only this far apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the entrance to the park.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the
And then
County
20
Road and then
then
427.
23 and then
23 and then 427.
But that's
Kind of
just their,
baffling.
you know, analysis, a recommendation. I mean, there's some other alternatives that you can do in there.
Is there anything in the narrative of the study that explains where they came up with the basis for the traffic numbers?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I'll send you the front half of it. Actually, I think I might have a copy I could leave with you guys if you want to.
Okay.
Because the whole thing's 495 pages long.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to print all that off, so.
Book. That's a book. That's not a traffic study. It's a book.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I opened that file up, so good night. But that, most of it's how they got their traffic counts and their traffic flows and NERC did provide a lot of the traffic counts for 11A and 427, and I think 23. And then I don't know if NDOT supplied the traffic off the exits and entrance ramps to them. I imagine NDOT probably did that, as we don't count that. Next thing I got for you guys today is our annual bids. This is not going to go out till the end of the month, but I'm trying to get all my stuff around because I'm going to be out a lot this month. So I'm trying to get everything put together. That way, when I'm time, I can get it advertised and get everything submitted to everyone. This is our annual materials bids. Right now, I've got it scheduled to be, all bids will be received here by 10 a.m. December 19th, 2022. With our advertisement dates being December 2nd, December 9th. And like I say, we'll open them here on December 19th at approximately 11. And our bids will be from January 15th, 2023 to January 15th, 2024. So this is our annual materials bids that we do every year. I did not make any changes to it as far as our specifications. I just went through and updated the dates. So nothing's been changed. So if you guys are okay with that, I'd like to have you guys sign the invitation to bid and date it. And then that way, when I get things done here this month, I'll have it, I can get everything sent out. If you guys are okay with that, I got that here today, or I can bring it up. I'll have time, we can do it next week as well. I don't know if Todd will be back if you want his signature, but I really only need the two. That's your guys' discretion.
We might as well get it done.
Okay.
Get it done, get,
And
Yeah,
what
with
time
the
do they have to
program.
be here by? December 19th, at what time?
10 a.m.
10? Okay, thanks.
You know, you don't realize what all you gotta get done till you're trying to take time off too, and then you got, oh man, I got this, I got that, and it just,
Yeah.
if you guys are okay with that time, I know I've been coming in earlier, Susan just texted me about that. I can amend that time back if you'd like me to make it 10:30. Instead of 11, I just left it, it's always been historically 11. So a lot of my files are set up that way, but I can amend that time if you guys like. It won't affect your sign sheet, but I can go back and amend the time, have the bids due at 10 and open at 10:30 if you'd like me to back that up, or if you want to stay at 11, it's your discretion. Susan's bumped me back to coming in earlier.
Oh,
yeah, I'd say amend that to 10:30.
Okay,
And bids in at 10 and we'll open at 10:30.
okay. I'll amend that. It won't affect the sign sheet, so I'll make that change and then. Okay. I didn't think about that when I did that, so there again, old habits.
oh,
She moved my current time up, I think 10:15 now, instead of 11. Okay, I'll make that change, so I'll need those back, and then I'll scan you the signed copies.
Okay.
Because the sign page don't have the time on it, I don't think. No, it don't, so I'll amend the front page and then attach and then send it to her. Okay. And that's what I have for you guys this morning.
that's it.
That was easy.
I didn't have much time to prepare everything this morning. So I did have a new employee start this morning. So we're back to full staff. So with having him coming on board this morning and moving around and then being off last week and then coming up here at 8:30, yeah, I was moving around this morning. So, but I think I got the business done I needed to take care of with you guys, so.
We on for the highway build department meeting Wednesday, right? We should have numbers by then.
According to the email, he said he's gonna have some GMP numbers, it sounded like, yes.
Yeah.
And I will be there this week.
You
for that
will be,
meeting. Yep,
okay.
I'll be here Wednesday. I'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week.
Okay, okay. Anything for Ben? Todd?
No. Good job on the trucks.
All right, thank you.
Mike?
You said that they're expecting to have numbers this week?
For the GMP?
On the
Yeah.
bill, yeah.
Right, yeah, because we missed last week's meeting
Yeah, I saw it was
because some
canceled.
of us wasn't gonna be there.
Yeah,
And then that gave them some extra time to come up with it. So, yes, from the last email I got, he said he should have numbers for us this week.
all right, so that puts us into December before, the December council meeting, before we can get that.
Yeah,
Okay.
because council's tomorrow and
Yeah, council meets tomorrow.
They're meeting tomorrow?
Tomorrow for November, yeah.
Okay, I wondered,
Yeah, somehow we forgot, or didn't click that it was election day, and so
it's not, was it in the paper? Saturday,
it wasn't? Ah,
it was not advertised.
yeah. Yeah, it's on,
I didn't see it.
yeah,
I looked for it and I didn't see it.
yeah, it's on,
oh, it is. Tomorrow is the 8th. Yeah.
yeah.
Huh. I don't know.
Full agenda,
No.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't pay attention to it being in the paper.
yeah. Anything else? Wow, you're out of here in record time.
That's all right. I got to come back, I guess.
Yeah, well, you do.
I know it. We doing lunch today then for that?
We have grilling, we have some grilling to do.
Do we?
Can we
That's all
just do
right.
his now?
That's all right. I'll come back.
Okay,
Bill or Jim, give me an invoice for Frontier. I'll check into that. Get back with him.
Go get your new guy broken in.
Yeah, he's
Susan's
got
calling.
orientation with Dottie at 9, so he's going up there here just
Hello?
shortly.
Must be Susan.
So council meetings are advertised at the beginning of the year. Saying council meetings are advertised at the beginning of the year. Yeah, it was advertised.
oh. Do it the rest of the time.
I don't know how all that works.
Made sense? Ew.
Okay, all right. Bye. She's listening.
That's Susan?
Yeah. She said we do it at the beginning of the year, we advertise, and then if they put it in for your information, because it's on our website. So, I guess that's what.
Okay,
All right.
learn something every day.
Okay.
Indeed.
Okay, Mr. Ben,
Okay.
catch you later.
Yep. I'll see you guys after a bit.
Hey, man.
Take care, Todd. Hope you get feeling better.
Yeah, I feel good.
Well, on that happy note, I'll move to approve claims.
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you say, I got notes all over here. We have to do a roll call too, since Todd's on Zoom.
That's right.
Hey, I had a quick question on the claim.
What you got?
Can you answer it? Looking at Economic Development Commissioners, 31062, County Buildings and Improvements, W. Brandenburg and Sons for $20,600. Is that for the work to the annex building?
Yes.
Yes.
That is? Okay.
Yeah.
Other, all right, that's fine. Another one I had was for the equipment rental, 33,710, And I think I've asked this before, and I haven't remembered, a 10T US Inc. We rented some equipment for $10,051. I'm just trying to figure out what we would have rented for 10 grand.
What's the date on that? Was there a date?
I do not see a date. It was in the email claims we get. I just took a screenshot of it. Just says November 7th on it, on the claim date. But, yeah, equipment rental. And the claim number under a 10T is 008056. Susan's asking what department. She must be listening.
Yeah.
I don't know what department it is for sure.
What's the number at the end of the claim?
Oh, wait, it's under community corrections, it looks like.
Community corrections?
What is, yes. I think I may have asked this question before and I obviously didn't write down the answer. Like I said, it's a TENTI, ATTENTI, I believe. $10,051.30. Okay, Susan just told me it's the GPS monitoring. So, never mind.
Okay.
That's
Well, that's good.
right.
That's what she's saying,
Yeah.
GPS monitoring.
That's good to know.
Yeah, well, when you see 5 figures for rental, you want to know what you're renting, so.
Right, well, I couldn't imagine, the only thing I could think of was that lift over to Annex. But
Yeah,
I thought that was
Right.
included in the price, and that would have been a big bill for
yeah.
the time they
Yeah.
had that lift over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's good. All right.
all right, anything else on claims? Motion to
Nothing
approve?
either.
I already made that
So moved.
motion.
Oh, yeah, Mike made a motion, so I'll second.
Okay, motion second to approve claims. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed the same. Motion carries.
We have to do a roll call. How do you do the roll call? Do you say yes, yes, yes?
Oh, that's right. We gotta do roll call. Mike,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Bill, yes.
Thank you.
I've got them all. And you need this signed, right?
Correct.
You. There we go.
For the wire. There you go.
Thank you.
You ought to know. Okay, let's move on to minutes.
Minutes.
Any questions on the minutes? Comments? I have a request on the minutes. A change, an addition, I should say. It's about the Commissioner Hartman in the first paragraph under Human Resources. About 3/4 of the way down, William Hartman feels certificate is appropriate and many is appropriate for the employees' longevity. I had made the statement, they actually get a increase in PTO days. And I think that should be included just for the record. They get an increase in PTO days on certain different anniversaries.
Okay.
So they get that increase, get a certificate. That's my opinion on that. Okay. Motion to approve minutes with the correction, addition.
I will move to approve the minutes as amended.
Second?
A motion and a second. Roll call. Mike?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Bill, yes.
Okay.
Minutes are approved.
You're getting a lot of exercise this morning, Bill.
Yeah, I'll get my exercise.
Thank you.
Okay. Travel. I think we had 2 travel. Any comments on travel?
I'll move to approve travel as presented.
Second?
A motion and a second to approve travel. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify, or Mike?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Bill, yes. Travel is approved. Okay, extension contractual service agreement for 2023. That's Purdue.
Okay.
Did everyone get a chance to read?
Yeah, is that amount the same as last year?
I do not know.
I think it was, what, 123,000 roughly?
Right.
Another question, do we pay all their operating expenses on top of that? I kind of read the contract that says that they'll provide the manpower and expertise, but I noticed we cover like their postage and their copiers, and we pretty much provide everything they need, right, on top of that?
Yeah, we provide the office space, the heat, utilities. They pay,
Okay. But we pay like their travel and stuff too, right?
No.
no.
We
No.
don't?
No, they
They
pay
pay
for
their own
the,
travel?
yeah.
Okay, all right. Because I saw postage in the planes for the extension, so I assume we do pay their postage and stuff though, correct?
I had
I'm not sure, Todd. I think some of that stuff is reimbursed.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out, I'm not trying to nitpick, I'm just
No.
trying to figure out how these agreements we have work, who pays what, you know, and the contract said that they would provide, you know, the expertise and labor and services, but I mean, I'm fine with it. I was just curious what was last year too, what we paid.
I am not sure. I had a comment. I had a question, kind of curiosity as to why Purdue University, in this contract, we're giving them the authority to exercise the federal rights laws and Indiana civil rights laws. And I think we are bound by state and federal government to follow those laws, are we not? Why are we giving Purdue an additional authority over us to follow that? I just, I find that, I don't know if I'd say troubling, I just find it kind of odd that we sign a contract and they include this paragraph. I guess that's what's odd
In
about it.
effect, it helps us because we don't know how they're doing things day to day. And if they screw something up, then they're the primary one at fault and not the commission.
Comments? All right. Motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion?
Second?
A motion and a second. Any additional comments? Mike? Todd?
Yes.
Bill, yes. I will sign.
Thank you.
There you go, Madam Secretary.
Thank you.
Okay. The County Board of Health appointment. We have a reappointment.
Yeah. I'll move that we reappoint Justin Clark to the DeKalb County Board of Health, term beginning 1/1/23 through 12/31/26.
Wholehearted second.
Hard second. Okay.
Yeah. Justin's a good guy.
Yep.
Okay, good deal. Any additional comments? Mike?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Bill, yes. Sign. Oh. Okay, miscellaneous topics. What we got?
We talked a little bit last week about assigning that certificate on the old S&S property in Waterloo over to the town of Waterloo. And they would dearly love to have that, get it back on the tax rolls. So I would move that we direct Jim to draw that paperwork up and make that happen. It's kind of the same procedure we did for Butler last year on those parcels. Just to refresh you, that's a habitual tax sale property that's never sold.
Right, that was the old
The old
filling
S&S.
station.
Yeah, the old S&S,
Yeah.
Stone Street, Yancey Stone Street's property.
Yeah. You in agreement, Todd?
Yes.
Yeah, Jim?
Helps Waterloo. I think we should do it.
Yeah.
Oh, hello?
You could just
S&S.
zoom in.
Bill.
Okay. Okay, so just make the motion.
You need a motion on that?
Make a motion, yeah. Jim doesn't have to do anything.
Oh,
Okay, so we need to make a vote motion and then do our roll call.
okay.
Okay,
I made it.
Okay, thanks.
I was thinking to do the motion when it's all drawn up and then,
She said, make the motion as of today, and then she'll do it, but Jim doesn't have to be involved.
okay,
So
okay.
then I'll
Okay.
amend my motion to have Susan
Okay.
do it instead of Jim.
Michael made,
Second? I'll second.
Second,
Okay, we got 2 seconds.
okay.
Roll call.
Approve.
Mike,
Yes.
Todd,
C,
Bill, yes, is
Yes.
approved.
Yes.
What else we got? Miscellaneous topics.
about Sunny Meadows, I know Dottie isn't here today. Do you know if we've had a action on an interim director to help out there?
Not heard anything from Dottie on that.
I have not either. They did do all the assessments last Friday,
Oh, good.
all the medication reviews, individual assessments, and so we should be getting a report on that real shortly.
Okay,
Great.
anything else? On the Janet Ordway, I was wondering on that. Maybe it's been corrected, the last paragraph. Had Don Kaufman in it.
Oh, jeez. Proofread,
Yeah, it's the last paragraph, be it further resolute, resolved.
Thank you for catching that. I was out part of the week and she was out part of the week, and so I had her send it without.
Okay. The other thing I was wondering, flags half-staff, county, I understand, country and state, do we have that?
It's always been done. I've been doing those memorials.
Just always do it.
It doesn't hurt anything to do it.
It carries no actual authority, though.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
It's 18 years worth of putting it in. That's how it got into this stuff.
well, we'll just make a call to the State House and see if we can make that happen.
Well,
okay.
I think we can read between the lines and assume it's our flags.
I agree.
I
Where,
appreciate that, Bill.
where do you go with that from here?
You need,
Yes.
Yes.
then you should approve it today, subject to the correction being made that should have been sent to you.
Okay, probably sent to
While
Susan.
we're still here.
Then I'll move to approve the joint resolution 2022-R-19, BCC 4-1-3-37 for the Janet L. Ordway Serber Memorial Resolution to be corrected.
Second,
A motion and a second. Are there any additional comments or corrections? Roll call vote, Mike,
Yes.
Todd,
yes.
Bill, yes. It is approved with the correction.
Gonna get a reprint here in a minute.
I see Pam just popped in the door. You missed the vote on the certificate, so that's in process now. Susan, we voted to approve that transfer on certificate to Town of Waterloo, and Susan will make that happen.
Yeah, she's got a bunch of them here, so.
Yeah. But it also could be, you know, she left her husband.
Yeah,
Okay.
Is all, Pam was here just for that?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So let me,
Okay.
Morning, Mr. Gomer. Paul?
What else we got? Mike, you got anything miscellaneous?
No.
Todd, any miscellaneous discussion?
Nope, we're good, thank you.
Jim?
No, I'm good. There were several other places.
Oops.
Susan said she corrected it. So I think they're coming in. Get new ones.
Get a new one?
Yes.
Oh, I do have one thing for
Oh, I
Jim.
see. This is his.
As soon as Jim gets done correcting his,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I know, I appreciate that. We still have some delinquencies on the innkeeper's tax
Yeah, I got
payments.
that out to go door to door. Well,
Okay,
probably this afternoon.
okay,
And if I
all right.
don't,
Be happy to
I
loan
went
you.
once, but I didn't. On. I thought I'd do it first.
Yeah.
Hard way now.
Okay, I'll loan you a club if you need it. Do you need any information from Amber on amounts or anything? Okay, all right.
The motel tax? What's with that, I wonder?
There's always one.
Yeah.
This time there's two, but
Yeah, but they're owned by the same entity,
Yeah.
and they may not know about it. But they should have, because I told the assistant manager, because the manager of both places wasn't there, and they were gonna give the word to him, and I haven't heard anything.
appreciate you attending to that, sir.
Yes, sir, I sure will. There were, in addition to one place. In addition to the one place, just make sure she changed all of those. They should, it's all in caps.
Their phone call.
Yeah.
I'm texting.
Time out.
At some point, you'll say, I should have just been there. Not getting any quality time off.
Well,
Okay, we all set?
You got him?
I'm asking her. She's answering.
All right. We're still on miscellaneous. Any other miscellaneous? No?
Those can go down.
I think we can go ahead and start with Paul.
Sure.
Paul, you want to come on up? Grab a seat, make sure your mic's up. Pull it up close.
Okay,
The other party here. Some handouts.
Okay.
You- Sorry about that.
Are these more recent?
Page is the first set of photos I've taken on that property. Did I get? Oh, you guys can come on up if you like.
mic on, green light, pull it up to you.
Oh,
Yeah. We got a hearing problem today, so we have to speak up a little bit and use the mic.
All right, so Eric is here today. Like I said, I give you guys all the photos that I have taken. The packet on the back is of photos I've taken on the 4th. So the most recent photos that I've taken. I talked to Eric a couple times since our last meeting. You know, he told me he's gonna have all these cars gone. I mean, there's still, you look at that, 11-4, still a lot of vehicles on the property. Tires, scrap metals.
I moved a bunch since you came that day. Vehicles, there's,
Okay, and I came back Friday.
since, I mean,
Friday would have been the 4th.
I've moved probably 20, 22 boats and vehicles so far.
Okay.
I've only got a handful left.
And I've also included a quote from Riverside Towing. Not sure if they have a date that they had drove by, to give us, you know, quotes on items on the property, what they would charge, to remove those. And then on the back side is just, from Tyreville, just handwritten on there what they charge per tire and things like that, so. Again, I was there Friday, took photos. You guys have those in front of you today, so. He says he's moved more vehicles. So,
Well, what's going to be the outcome of this? What can you do to move forward and get this cleaned up?
I just spent $600 in the last 2 days on a skid steer, and that helped me get quite a bit of progress. I mean, where I took all the vehicles, I mean, that cost me a lot of money too. Just financially, it's been pretty hard to, I don't know, get it cleaned up. I haven't even worked in the last month other than on this project. So, I mean, I've done a lot more than you would tell from these pictures, that's for sure. Like the scrap pile that was right there in the middle. I mean, I've got my big dump truck all loaded up. I got, you know, maybe a couple more dump truck loads I got to take in yet. My car trailer is loaded down right now that needs to go in. Almost all the tires are cleaned up. And all the wood debris is stacked nicely and tucked away where it can't be seen, because that's for a further project. I didn't get the small sections of fence here and there closed up yet because I was going in and out of them. But I'm working at it.
Right. Comments, Todd or Mike?
sorry, Todd, you don't have all these images in front of you.
Oh, that's okay. I'll refer to your good judgment.
Well, there's definitely a lot of tires and stuff in these photos. Is all that stuff gone yet? All the scrap metals and,
If you drive by this afternoon, you won't see any tires left. That's
Okay.
what I was working on this morning, is finishing the tires. And like I said, I loaded up the grain truck. I have to take it in and load up another load of scrap and keep going from there. Tried to get a roll-off dumpster, but they want $350 just for the dumpster, so
that's a cheap dumpster.
well, the price of scrap right now, it would end up costing me still, because it's so low, so.
Well, I can assure you 350 is a pretty cheap price for a dumpster.
Right, but when it's paying $100 a ton, I'm already strapped as it is, so I couldn't afford to do it. I gotta haul it in myself.
When When did we look at this last? So these were done 11/2, and then you went back on Friday?
I'm trying to see when we were here. So my last note in my report was on the 21st of September, so it would have been just shortly after that. 26, there you go. That's when we were here last.
And backside of that 5th page is kind of disturbing. This looks like a little bit of everything piled in there.
There's a lot of pages there, I'm not sure. Which packet are you in? Which packet are you in, looking at?
The
Most recent?
11/4,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the tires, scrap metals, I mean, there's a
Refrigerator.
refrigerator standing there.
Yeah.
Bunch of pallets and.
What's in the yellow bags to the right? Like it's on some kind of a
Like
cart.
concrete,
Concrete. I thought it looked like
eggs of
concrete.
quickcrete.
What's your recommendation, Paul?
Well, I mean, it's been 3 days since I've taken photos, and he's telling us that he's done a lot since then. I mean, I can't prove that unless I go out there today and take more pictures. I mean, I guess it's up to you, what you guys want me to do about it at this point. I mean, I've had him in my process since about March 10th. So it's been quite a while.
So well over 6 months.
Todd, Mike?
I think he ought to probably run back out there and see what progress has happened and verify what's been happening and see if we're going in the right direction.
Okay,
I guess I would concur with that. If there is some substantial progress from when you were there on Friday until when you go out today,
okay.
then I would,
It may be more like tomorrow, just.
well, okay, yeah. And if that's the case, then I think we could probably,
Just keep letting him make that progress.
yeah.
Yeah. But that's a must. I mean, there's got to be that progress.
Right,
If he's saying it today here in the commissioner's court, we need to see that progress. I mean, don't come in here and feed us a bunch because
When
it's
you
not going to
go out
work.
there, like, really look at it, you can come on, walk on the property or whatever. It was full before. I mean, it's thinned out. It's messy right now.
okay.
I mean,
Do I have your permission to walk on your property?
Yeah, that's fine.
All
It's
these photos have been taken from the road, so,
Right.
I mean, it is your property, so.
Right. It's,
Okay.
it's spread out right now, but that's because we're moving stuff around, so.
Jim?
Yeah, assuming that Paul finds that there's progress that has been made since he last checked, do you have a target date by which you'll be done? We're headed into bad weather, and we don't want to have this go
Right, and
through the end, till spring. What would you estimate you could be done with everything to Paul's satisfaction?
I've been trying to get it cleaned up. I wanted to have it done before the beginning of the summer, but it's just a never-ending process. I've
I mean,
got a
I hate
pretty
to
good
see
handle on it
somebody
right now.
outside in the wintertime trying
I'm
to do
gonna-
stuff, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that, I can keep the equipment I'm using going, not too terribly long. I just been one thing after another, like breaking. My fork truck broke, everything's breaking. like I said, I rented that skid steer, so I should have the majority of what's an eyesore cleaned up today, because I can't afford it for another day.
I think if indeed Paul feels that there's been some substantial progress, another 30 days is more than fair. I think that's, well, that's over 60 days from when we last talked about it.
You have the option of setting a date, 30 days or 45 days or whatever, to see what progress has been made and have Paul and Eric back in whatever date you set, but I'd get it on the calendar now.
Yeah.
So
well, that puts us.
he knows what your target date is as well, to show substantial progress. There may be some little things that you can give them a little more time if you've really seen a lot of progress.
Yeah, I'd like to see this basically done and out of our hair in 30 days. So that would be 1, 2, 3.
Do you have anything to add? I
That's
mean,
December
I've
7th.
talked to you a couple times. You can step on up or sit next to Eric if you'd like.
Hit the little knob there in the front of the thing. There you go.
Yeah, you can have a seat there.
Morning.
I like, just to touch base with him, I mean, I have came into it a little later than what he's been cleaning it up, but I have seen tremendous of change, because, I mean, I don't like to look at it either. I like my yard to be pretty, so, but it has definitely been hard. But this last 30 days, we've really recruited a lot of people, and so the manpower was our biggest problem, but we've kind of got a small misfit army together to help, because we would like to, you know, be good neighbors, so. It is very spread out, like he said, but it's a lot better, and if you come out, I mean, you'll see that, and I think that it'll be good, it'll be okay. Especially if we have 30 more days, that's more than fair, and we appreciate that.
I know it's not cheap, but there is a quote from Riverside Towing. I mean, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to help you out with getting rid of some of those larger vehicles and things. Anything that is a vehicle, jet skis, things like that they're willing to take, so.
Do you have a date, Mike, that you've?
December 7th would be 30 days as a target date. And I would say to be substantially complete by then. I mean, there might be some little.
And then you want them back in on December 7th, or give Paul enough time to check it out?
We'll let Paul check it out. I hate to drag them back in if it's done, so.
Okay, you guys okay with that?
Hey, I got a suggestion. If you get a dumpster, I'll donate a day of my time and my skid steer, and I'll come load anything you want in that dumpster with my skid steer. So you get a dumpster, I'll donate a day of my time and my skid steer, and I'll load whatever you want.
It'd be okay?
Yeah.
You can take him up on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that'll,
Be happy to help.
I don't
We
think
got a
I'll
card for
have that much
Todd.
stuff at that point.
We have,
I think after today, I won't have that
Business
much stuff, but I appreciate the offer. I'll let you know if I do.
Yeah, if you can use it, great. If not, that's fine too, but I'm happy to help.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate
Okay.
that, Commissioner.
Thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
oh, I don't think so. So we have a deadline of 30 days, and that puts us at December 7th.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, that puts us close to
And
9
then
months.
that's
since it's-
Wednesday, I believe.
Okay, I'll check back and then,
Check that out and
Yeah,
we
And
report
and
in.
let them know if they need to come back in, or if they don't, and if
Yeah.
they do, it would be the next Monday.
Right, following Monday,
okay,
which would be the 12th.
I can try and make that work.
Name, she's gonna give me her name.
Yeah, that puts us close to 9 months since this came on the radar. I think
Thank you.
that's being more than generous with.
Right. You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
How do you want them to contact you, Todd?
Just send an email or call me at work, Sanderson Auto. Be happy to, that number's 260-925-3945. Have to secure a trailer to put the skid steer on, but that's not a problem. So,
I've got a trailer, Todd.
I do too.
do you? Okay. I'll borrow your trailer.
There you go.
All right.
Paul.
Thanks, guys.
Chris.
This
Hey,
can be
sir.
quick, I think.
Thank you for coming in.
Push the
It's
Just
okay.
push it and it'll go off.
center.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I brought back the rezone for County Road 61 and County Road 34 in Butler. It was the 36 acres going from I-3 high-intensity industrial to A2 agricultural. Last I was here, Todd wanted to come out to the office and look at kind of that corridor that we discussed. He came out after the meeting and discussed that with me, and I think he is prepared to make the motion for the approval on the rezone, but if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer those if you do.
Any questions? Todd?
No, I'm good with it now. I understand and saw the big map and it makes sense.
Mike? You
I'm
good
good.
with it?
I'll move to approve resolution 2022-R-18 for the rezone at County Road 61 and 34.
I will second.
Who is,
Lots of seconds.
who wants to take,
I'll second. I want a second.
I'll third it.
you'll third it? Okay.
All right. Roll call, Mike.
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Bill, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
That was quick.
Todd, I'm assuming you're out sick, but when you're available, can you come into my office and sign this?
I'll do it tomorrow. I'm just quarantining this day.
Okay.
I'm good tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Okay. Anything else on that? Anything else, Chris?
That's all I
you
got,
had?
thank you.
Have a good one.
You too, appreciate it, see you soon.
Chris.
See ya, thanks.
Catch you later,
I'll be back.
sounds like.
So Chris, you'll get that back to us after he said, okay, thanks.
Andrew, you have the floor, you have the mic.
Okay.
Andrew
What can I do for you
Provines,
today?
right, 3920 County Road 75, Butler, Indiana, November 7th. Put my glasses on here so I can read. I apologize, I showed up late for this meeting, but that last one is interesting. And I just want to make note for the record. Was that a issue over public eyesore?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were hard pressed to tell someone what they could do with their private property, but we did tell them what they could do with their private property because of an eyesore.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. So I don't actually have like a ton to say directly today. I have a lot of questions because research is tough. Websites are tough. Which websites are real? So I figured I'd just come and ask a bunch of questions. So, and also Todd, the offer of the skid steer and the trailer, that's awesome, by the way. I don't think you see that a lot.
The technical name is environmental nuisance.
Yeah, I've actually got the paper back here.
Okay,
I'll read through it. I'll read through it and see it all.
okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. Oh, yeah. No. I get it. There's full things that explain what it is, but I'm just saying we are telling people what to do with their property. That's it. Okay.
Well, because of other people having property that they take pride in, and, you know, this is something that needed to be done, and there is legislation to authorize it. It's not like they just decided.
But what you just said was other people have property that they take pride in. I
Yes.
take pride in my property.
Well, so
I'm just saying I take pride in my property.
He's not,
violation of an ordinance.
Well, I know. No. And I'll read the ordinance. I get it. I get it.
he's not running a legitimate business.
What's,
He's not
no.
running a legitimate
I
business.
might,
But a
might-
legitimate business, and I will get to the legitimate business part because I have questions about a legitimate business.
I might add, Andrew, we do not drive around the county looking for these.
I know.
It's-
If you
it's-
did, you'd get
it's
the house
driven
right
by-
down from mine.
Driven by complaint, fellow
Yep.
residents,
I get
fellow
it.
citizens.
I get it.
So, yeah.
Okay. Couple questions. Where are we at on, I know that we've kind of said this is a non-starter, but the ordinance shoring up even small details like in language and things like that. So in previous meetings, I've asked about things like the vegetative barrier. And I know we were working on kind of, you know, what is the true language? What is a vegetative barrier? We come in here and we hear, you know, full screening day one, which is great. But in the ordinance, it doesn't say day one. So things like that. Or if the tree dies, if they put in the tree and it dies a month later, it's just dead. There's nothing in the ordinance to say, come back the next planting season, come back within a year. So where are we at with just little things? Like, can we get little things worked on, such as everyone here said day one? Can we put that in the ordinance to protect people?
I'm working on cleaning up some things, but it'll be all in one process where you
Gotcha.
can't just go in and do
Put 'em all
this
in at
and
once.
this and this, yes.
Gotcha.
And it'll have to start with
With
the
Plan Commission.
Development Services Department.
Okay.
And he's here listening, and I saw him taking notes, so.
It's little things like wording that I've heard folks here say, but just those little bits of wording like day one that's not in there. You know,
Yeah.
because what I've also heard is if it's not in the ordinance, it doesn't really exist. So I just want to make sure those little things, and the sooner we do it, because it's one of those things where if they put in a plan on the current ordinance, then it applies by that ordinance, not any changes afterwards, if I understand it correctly.
Yeah, and development plan's already been submitted. Although I think that there's some assumptions being made that the solar companies are not going to be in favor of taking care of all those little things. And I think those are incorrect assumptions based on,
And I hope they are. That's, yeah. So, but it's just those little things to protect us a little bit further.
I agree.
Okay. I know I've asked this before, and I'm going to ask it again only because there was a number of people who wanted to know this question again, get a little bit more on this question. So obviously you folks are elected officials. We elect you folks to represent us as people. So in the case where those things aren't upheld, I'm just going to ask it again, how do we enforce that? So you had said in another meeting basically that, you know, we can shut them down, do that kind of thing. And I have questions over, if we shut them down, do they lose their government subsidies? Do they lose their tax breaks? What happens? What actually happens if we shut down their ability to operate if they do not comply?
I don't know.
What are those things?
I don't know. That's, you know, those are federal things and and I just don't know.
Is this a burden of us to research and call, or is this something that you folks can help us
And
get the right people or get the right answers?
in reality, Andrew, if they don't comply with the regulations in our ordinances, our ultimate remedy is a court remedy. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
And we would start again with Chris's Department of Development Services. We would build some kind of a presentation to make to a court that they are violating, and we would ask for a remedy. And, you know, depending on how bad it is, the remedy could be to shut them down, but that typically doesn't happen the first time around, especially if they respond well to it. And then we monitor it, much as we did with the folks that were here that you heard a little while ago. We monitor it. And, but a lot, you know, the investigative arm is through Development Services. And they are the ones who get most of the information to the commissioners. They can make a recommendation, a preliminary thing following a hearing, and Mike can address this as well. He's on the, you're on the Plan Commission, aren't you? Yeah, and that's basically it.
Okay. And the reason, like I said, the reason I ask are not these, I've asked these questions for myself, but a lot of people have asked me again and again, what happens? So if they don't take care of us as residents, what are the ramifications? That's why I'm reiterating, asking again, what the recourse is. So
I might comment, that's one of the problems of the federal government getting involved in subsidizing private enterprise.
yes,
It gets awfully sticky. There's a lot of web fingers that go out, and it just makes it really complicated and really difficult to navigate through it.
oh, I get it.
And get
Even
remedies.
researching is difficult. Like what happens? You know, here's different cases where this, and different cases where this. So it's I get it. It's definitely a web of what's going to happen. So.
But at the end of the day, Andrew, the solar companies are no different than if Metal Technologies or SDI or Scott Industries or anybody else who is a corporate citizen of DeKalb County violated local ordinances. They're all treated the same way.
So they all would go through the same process of here's our remediation
Yeah.
plan or effort. Okay.
The solar developments are nothing different than any other developer that's coming to DeKalb County to invest in the county, and they'll be treated exactly the same way that any other developer would be.
I would argue that they are different, but I would not argue that you're saying they will be treated the same, and that's good. That's good. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to hold their feet to the fire just same way we would anybody else.
That's what I want to hear. That is exactly what I want to hear. Thank you. Yes. I have a question on just in general. It's sometimes websites are hard to navigate, and I'm in IT. So I literally do this kind of stuff for a living, research and go through the internet. So some things are hard to find. What is public and what is not public? So will the actual development plans be public for us to review? Mm-hmm. Is the permitting process, can we see those permits publicly? Can we see the proposals? They've said, we want this permit, all that. Is that all public?
The development plan is submitted to the Plan Commission. Plan Commission reviews all of that. It's routed to every department for routing comments to make sure that it complies, or that they have whatever suggestions they have. And then the Plan Commission will hold a public hearing on the development.
But me as a citizen, can I see that development plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, once it's submitted.
And as soon as it's submitted?
Is that correct, Chris? Once it's submitted, it's available to the public, yes.
Yep. I don't know what is and what isn't public, so.
There is sometimes a little bit of lag time putting everything together in that department, but anything that is submitted to a public entity, Development Services, commissioners, council, they have their own area of administration. All of that is available through a public records request. There are sometimes, if it's electronic that you can get, which I assume would be your deal, there's not normally a charge. If there are copies that have to be run for someone that's more technology challenged than you, they would have to pay per copy. It's like 10 cents or something like that a page.
Okay. Perfect.
I would suggest as soon as you see that hearing advertised, that would be the time to seek those records.
Yeah, I'm going to seek them as soon. I've been calling, just, hey, has anyone put in a plan?
As soon as it's advertised, that public hearing,
Perfect.
get with Chris and get those.
Cool. My actual agenda topic was abatements in general. And once again, I have a number of questions. Read a lot on abatements. I get what abatements are.
Some of those
I have questions.
Some of those the commissioners may be in a position to address but abatement is solely within the province of the county council.
And I will be asking them the questions as well. The reason I'm bringing it here is you guys are once a week, and Mike seems to know a lot. I mean, you seem to know a lot about how abatements work, so I thought I'd bring it here first. And then I was able to get 5 minutes, so I wasn't, on the county council, I wasn't sure it would be enough time to ask all my questions.
Okay.
So, yep. Okay, economic revitalization area. By the letter of what the definition of that is, the ground does not qualify for that. But I know there's some way around that or some way to label it as that. I just don't understand how.
That designation is just simply a requirement of the state legislation that set up the abatements. It used to be called a blighted area.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of pushback from the cities and towns of calling anything in their communities a blighted area. So the state code was just changed to call it an economic revitalization area. Any area that you're considering for a tax abatement qualifies as a economic revitalization area. It just has to be declared that by the council to qualify for an abatement.
Okay. So we're not going by the definition of what it is. No. You know, we're just basically, we can, as a county, label anywhere as an economic revitalization area.
When I economic revitalization.
Okay.
When I served on Auburn City Council, we declared the entire downtown area. At that time, they were still using the blighted area designation. But then when we did the abatement for TQS, Team Quality Services, and for Credent Wealth, we designated both of those parcels economic revitalization areas.
Okay. So okay.
It's just part of the process.
No, yep. And the definition online it throws you a little because you're like, how did we get around this? Because that's not what it is. All this land is producing and it's producing well. I mean, you know, so I just wondered how that worked. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So
just to opine on that, I read where Cass County made their whole county an economic redevelopment area. So
yeah.
they
Nice.
just like it. So that way they have launch, they can do what they want, I guess. But just so you know, I had the same question, to be honest with you, Mr. Brolines. It's like Mike said, though. It's like, okay, if it's going to get an abatement, it has to be labeled out, so you label it and you move on. And I don't necessarily agree with it, but I used to look at it as blighted area. Okay, this will never get better unless we label it blighted, and it needs abatement help in order to do it. And I think we did that with Mr. Schweitzer. Didn't we? Was I in council with you, Mike, with Mr. Schweitzer's property, the old foundry there? We allowed an abatement on that due to being a blighted area, and we approved it.
Yeah.
And that made sense to me. But I have to agree with you somewhat here that it's just the term that's used in order to give abatements anymore. It doesn't really have to do with being blighted.
Right.
If that's true, all of Cass County's blighted. So,
it seems like after
There's
years,
some truth to that.
it seems like after years we found a way to kind of sidestep.
Well, and really the definition is that the improvements on the property that qualify for an abatement will increase the tax revenue for the county. So that's the economic revitalization part.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next question. It seems like abatements are generally, once again, this is by definition of, there's the Indiana Planning Guide and there's all those different things. It seems like one of the core features of that is that it creates jobs. And most of the labor, from what I've read in other areas, are brought in for construction. Some is done here for construction, but then those are really transient jobs. So it's not a lasting job benefit to the county. So I'm wondering, do we know, like, let's say all 6,000 acres went in, how many jobs we are expecting growth permanent for the county?
Very few. But that's,
Three or four,
that's
6.
where, go ahead, Mike.
3 or 4, probably 5. But jobs are statewide becoming less and less of a requirement or factor in abatements because virtually every industry now is bringing fewer and fewer jobs in because of advances in technology and robotics and all of that. So the calculation being strictly based on number of jobs like it used to be is a smaller and smaller piece of the pie. That being said, with this particular type of abatement being considered, the number of jobs is still pretty small, the same as it was with the Auburn renewables. So the economic development payments are what compensates for the loss of income tax revenue and employee spending with those that you would normally get. If somebody brings 50 jobs, you know, you've got local income tax and all of that. You've got people buying groceries and cars and so on and so forth. That happens, but on a much smaller scale with solar installations. So those economic development payments that will happen are the compensation for that.
So I'm gonna say this, it's gonna sound weird, but so we found a way to sidestep the economic revitalization or blighted areas. And it looks like we've found a way to sidestep the requirement or loose requirement of jobs. Have we considered the loss of jobs in the county? Because if you take 6,000 acres out of production, people that supply fuel, people that supply fertilizer, people that supply seeds, people that do the research, the soil sampling, all of that, the actual harvesting, the maintenance on equipment to local companies. I've been to co-ops, I've been to fertilizer places, I've been to a number of different places that have all said, I didn't know 6,000 acres might go out. This will definitely affect my business. So if we boil this down to pure numbers on how much would be lost, because I have a buddy who farms and he said that around 80 acres takes about $43,000, something like that, to lay out that field. So that's pretty much $43,000 lost per 80 acres for all these different companies that are selling them seeds, different things like that. So if you boil it down to what a job represents, and let's say 35,000, let's say 50,000, how many jobs will be lost based off of taking 6,000 acres out of production?
That's a good point. And being a farmer, I would pretty much guesstimate it's going to be a net loss of jobs.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to take more than 3 or 4 people to farm 6,000 acres.
Yeah.
Quite a bit more.
But 6,000 acres is about just north of 3% of the tillable farmland, so in DeKalb County. So there again, how much of an impact?
It's going to be a big impact from what our local businesses have said, but not just our local businesses, even our neighbors. Over in Edgerton area, I talked to a bunch of those folks too, and a lot of the farmland where this is being taken up is going to affect other counties around us. It's not just going to affect us, but I wanted to kind of think about, let's say we're getting an economic development package, let's say it was $5 million. How quickly does, year after year, 6,000 acres, the loss to local businesses, how quickly does that overtake the $5 million? I'm working on numbers. I'm not the best with math.
Well, there are a lot more numbers at play in that than just that part of the calculation. You know,
but that is why I'm here. I'm here to get your guys' take. I'm here to get your information, to get you, here's what we're getting. Every time I think about this, I keep thinking, where's the benefit? And it could be made up with something else. So we're going to take money away to make money. But where do those balance out? So from what I've heard from research I've done from looking up different places that have gotten solar farms, we have these solar companies. What do they pay into the grid? What do they do for us locally? So we have a public utility that has to manage, has to bring in this power, distribute it properly. So the money that they spend to do this, where does that go? Because online, once again, I'll say online, but a lot of places say those management costs get handed off to the people. So let's just say that our electricity bill goes up. Will it? I don't know. Will it? Maybe. So let's say that our electricity bill doubles over the next 5 to 10 years. Let's just say that it does. How quickly does the entire DeKalb County expenditure for electricity overtake that economic development payment? So we have people losing jobs. We have the money overtaking that. So how quickly does that economic development package not really mean anything or is much less than what we're losing?
Your comment about doubling electric rates and I mean, PJM is not going to charge any more for being the traffic cop for what solar puts in the grid than they do for what Cook Nuclear or any of the coal-fired plants or anything else do. I mean, that's...
So they're just going to take on the management cost of all that extra management and the power coming in. They're just going to take that on out of the goodness of their hearts and not put that on the people? I mean, if we look up, and I don't know utility scale, how much it applies, but there is net metering. Net metering laws are old. So basically, if I stop and I don't have to pay the management taxes anymore or the management on my bill because I'm supplying all my own power plus pushing it back to the grid, the company now has to manage what I'm putting back on the grid. So that costs them something. They're not just going to be like, yeah, I'll take on that extra cost, no big deal. They're going to push it to the rest of the consumers. So how much will be pushed to the consumers?
At the end of the day, consumers, manufacturers are consumers, ordinary citizens are consumers. Ultimately, it all gets pushed back to the consumers if you broaden the definition of consumers. That's number one. Number two, I'm not sure it's come up in any of your discussions before the commissioners, but the abatement is a finite program. Most of them, you start off the first year, it abates 100% of the taxes, and then it goes down 10% each year, and at the end of 10 years, it goes away, and they're paying the full amount of the taxes.
But an offset to that is the fact that as we go along, they're devaluing their property. So you're never getting the full tax that you would. Now, based on the actual scoring sheet for our abatements, you have, it is basically anything over 100,000, no, what is it, 100,000? As you go up, you get points. So every $100,000 you're going to put into this project, you get 0.5 points with an up to 20 maximum. That's how the abatements work here. So we're kind of saying, make this bigger, make this bigger. So as they make this bigger, they get the ability after 10 years to say, I'd like another abatement.
No, they don't.
No, they do. It's in the scoring sheet. It's literally in DeKalb County's scoring sheet. So when they spend a certain amount, they actually can apply.
It has to be new investment for them to get another abatement.
That's not what the scoring sheet says.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's the way it works, Andrew.
Okay, I will check into that. I'm going to mark that as partially wrong.
And address this to the council because they're the ones that put all of this together and they work very hard at getting something put together.
I'm not accusing anyone. I'm not accusing you guys. I'm just saying what I've read and what I see.
Well, you're misinterpreting something because I can tell you that only on new investment can they apply for another abatement.
Okay.
I've done this many times.
Okay. I will look into it again and talk about it again.
The premise of a,
Yep.
of a
Yeah,
abatement.
and you know.
I was a little stunned to see it because I saw it this morning when I looked at the sheet, the fact sheet, like here's how you get your points. It said right there, this amount of money allows them to try to get another abatement after 10 years. You're eligible for this.
Does not work out.
Okay.
We had another item on the agenda. We have taken care of it, so we're going to let you run on over a bit.
I appreciate
We do
that.
have the break and the pledge in 5 minutes.
Yep, that's fine.
But let me just say, this stuff about electric rates doubling and all that, you're just so far out in the weeds and out of the realm of reality. You know, if that was happening, it would be happening on all of these other places that are counties and so forth that have been doing solar.
But utility scale is fairly new. This size is fairly new.
Just well, but then, and that may be, but I am telling you that, and we could take about an hour and a half to talk about how PJM and MISO all work and all those financial transactions of how the power grid is manipulated or run by those organizations, but that factor affecting consumer rates is minuscule.
Okay. I'll do my research on that even more thoroughly. And I am talking to a couple people from AEP, so I'll verify that or have more information. All right, where are we at? Scoring sheets. I actually don't have a ton more. As far as, is this fair? Do our local utilities, do our electric, do they get abatements?
I've never applied for one that I know of.
Public utilities don't get abatements unless they would make an investment, but I'm still not sure how that's handled. Public utilities like AEP, INM, NIPSCO are handled entirely differently than what the utility-grade solars are, because they're regulated by the IURC locally and FERC federally.
Okay.
So they're treated entirely different because they're public utilities and they deliver power to the consumer. Utility scale solar does not. They are just simply another business, and they're not regulated by either one of those regulatory agencies.
So a number of times in here I've heard a legitimate business. What would qualify as a legitimate business?
Any legal business.
So a legitimate business would be considered, in our case, I don't know that it's always that case, but in our case, foreign companies coming in receiving approximately $50,000 of taxpayers' money per acre, receiving massive abatements from a county. And with all that, if they didn't have that, it would not be feasible. So a legitimate business is something that needs that much money just to get up and going, just to exist. Because if we took away those government subsidies, then it would no longer be a money grab.
Well, you're describing many other businesses. I mean, SDI, virtually every business that operates in DeKalb County is taking advantage of tax abatements. So that argument's just specious.
Do they all get that much money per acre for government subsidies? I'm just asking what a legitimate business is, because without these subsidies and without these abatements, these companies could not exist. They wouldn't be able to exist.
That's
Kind of a philosophical argument, and
Yeah,
it ignores
it is.
reality.
it certainly doesn't have anything to do with anything we're considering.
So,
They're a legal business. They operate all over the country.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so-
they're legal.
Yeah.
I asked if they were legitimate.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a half a dozen business that operate locally that have foreign ownership. Cooper.
Are those all getting a ton of American taxpayer money?
I don't care. Doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
If they can get it, they can get it.
Okay.
They have a right to take advantage of whatever subsidies, tax breaks, or whatever are legitimate and available to them. And the fact that they take advantage of those, just like you have a right to take advantage of every tax break the IRS gives you.
So what is the benefit to our county? What is the ultimate benefit? Is there anything
I don't,
aside from money?
we're going to have to cut
Yep.
this off. And to answer that, I don't think we can actually answer that question. It's a good question.
Yeah.
But how do you calculate all this and weigh it against each other with numbers that are dependable? We got to have accurate numbers, and I don't know if we'll ever have them. It's kind of a guessing game.
Yeah,
I can tell you with absolute certainty that every single taxpayer's tax rate in DeKalb County will be reduced as a result of the increase in assessed valuation.
okay.
That's one.
Thank you.
We're taking a break, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
And
done.
then we have other things on the agenda
Yeah, then we have
for the
an
rest of the
We
morning.
have an executive session.
Well, if I have 10 more seconds,
No,
No.
no?
nope, we're
right.
done.
See the
Sorry,
people out there?
we're done.
Okay.
Your turn, Todd.
It's your turn.
Todd's doing the pledge.